alaikum and welcome to Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli Nihan. Go into any Greek restaurant anywhere and you will find moussaka on the menu, but the quality of the moussaka can vary enormously. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for moussaka that you would be happy to serve to anybody called Stavros Popadopolous. I'm going to start with the meat sauce. So I've got one large onion that I've chopped quite finely, 600 grams of minced lamb, 3 tomatoes that I've peeled, deseeded and chopped, 2 crushed cloves of garlic, 4 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley and a tablespoon of dried oregano, and a teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and ground allspice. I've got 3 tablespoons of olive oil on a low heat in a pan. I'm going to add in the onions and I'm going to stew them gently on a low heat for about 15 minutes until they're soft. While I'm waiting for the onions, I'll take 2 of the biggest aubergines you've seen ever in your life and cut them into 1/4 inch slices. Aubergines contain bitter juices in them, and the way to get rid of the bitter juices is to salt them. So I've got a colander over a bowl. I'll put in some slices of aubergine, sprinkle with salt, then put on another layer of aubergine, sprinkle with salt, and keep putting layers of salt and aubergine into your colander. You should use between 2 and 3 teaspoons of salt in total for the 2 aubergines. Now I'm just going to put these to one side for 20 to 30 minutes. Meanwhile, back at the pan, the onions are just starting to go brown, so I'm going to add in the meat, the cinnamon and allspice, and season with salt and pepper. Then turn the heat up high and brown the meat, which should take about 5 minutes. Now that the meat has browned, I'm going to add in ½ a cup of unsweetened grape juice. Stir it in and let it bubble for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll add in a teaspoon of honey and the tomatoes. Stir it around and turn the heat down to a gentle simmer. We're going to simmer this now for 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, I'll add in the garlic, ½ a cup of chicken or lamb stock, and the herbs. Mix well. Now leave this to simmer for 30 minutes to allow the sauce to become quite thick. You can see that my aubergines have gone all sweaty, so I'm going to dab them dry with a piece of kitchen towel. Now that I've got my pile of dried aubergines, I'm going to take a baking tray, pour in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and brush it around to cover the baking tray evenly with oil. Place a layer of aubergines into the tray, brush them with oil from off the bottom of the pan, then put them in the oven at 190 degrees C for 7 minutes to bake. After 7 or 8 minutes, the aubergines should have browned slightly. Remove them from the baking tray and put them to one side. Pour in another couple of tablespoons of olive oil and brush it around. Brush with oil once more and then bake at 190 degrees C for 7 minutes as before. My sauce has thickened up really nicely, so now I'm going to add in 2 egg whites. Stir them in, turn off the heat. While the sauce is cooling a bit, I'm going to make the topping. So I've got 400 ml of milk in a pan, which I'm heating up. I'm going to add in 40 grams of butter and 40 grams of flour, just ordinary plain flour, and whisk this while it comes to the boil. Once it comes to the boil, it should start to thicken. Turn the heat right down and simmer very gently for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, turn off the heat, add in a pinch of nutmeg and 100 grams of hard sheep or goat cheese. If you can get Greek Kefalotiri cheese, that's perfect. Add this in, whisk it in to mix. Once it's nice and smooth, just leave it for 5 minutes to cool a bit. I've got a nice big deep pan and I've greased it very lightly with butter. I'm going to start by putting in a layer of aubergine. Now add in half the meat mixture, spread it around, add another layer of aubergine, the rest of the meat, and a final layer of aubergine. Now into the topping add the 2 egg yolks that you haven't used so far and 2 other eggs and whisk them in. Now take your custard and pour it over the top of your moussaka. And finally sprinkle on some more of the grated cheese. Now this is going to go into an oven at 180 degrees C for about 30 minutes to brown it. 30 minutes later your kitchen is filled with the most amazing aroma and the moussaka's all lovely and brown. Now don't go and spoil it by serving it with chips. Serve it with some crusty bread and a nice green salad. So if you're watching this video and your name happens to be Stavros Popadopolous, come and try my moussaka. I'm sure you'll love it. Join me next time in Titli's Busy Kitchen with me, Titli Nihan. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz.